Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. I hope all of you are doing well. So I hope all of you are doing well and I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening, Megha. Good evening, Swati. Good evening, Riya, Shivshankar, Vinay. Good evening, everyone. Result कब आएगा? Result may be announced very soon. There is a chance that today itself you might be getting the result. It's a probability that prelims result is going to be declared today. Okay. So that is a chance. Like the updates which are coming, the news which is coming, it is quite much expected that by today evening, like in next 1 hour or 2 hours, you will be getting the result. Okay. That is expected today. Good evening. Okay, so the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session, the first topic which we are going to discuss is about nickel as a resource. Last day we could not discuss this one. Okay, last day we could not discuss this one, nickel as a resource. So we are going to talk about it today. The second topic which we are going to talk about is Axiom 4 mission. You may have seen that it has got a little bit delayed. This year in prelims also there was a question about it, and this is getting delayed time and again. So we are going to talk about this one. The third thing which we are going to talk about is about Indian population. Okay. This first portion is related to science tech. Here also science tech. Here this is related to the social or society portion, GS paper 1. Here we have another one from science and tech section, that is Neutrino, and from economy section we have this one topic of GDP forecast. Okay. These are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. Yes, today itself there is a chance, today itself there is this chance that we are going to have the result of UPSC prelims 2025. So how do you feel? Many of you have gone in the exam. So how do you feel this time? Just before the result, are you feeling that fast heartbeat? Like before the examination, before the result also, the heartbeat increases. There are so many hopes, so many aspirations. So how is it that you are feeling? Remember one thing, not good. No, don't feel bad about it. See, of course, result is one of the main part and parcel of our exam. Okay. It is part and parcel of our life process also. Many a times we are going through exams, many a times, not just this exam, there are many such things, many such tests in our life. So we are going through it. So if there is any such exam, if there is any result of that, you don't have to worry about it. Take it as a lesson. Take it as a lesson. The thing is that today also all of you are here. Today also you are here to learn. This shows your dedication. Today also at 5 p.m. if you are gathered here to learn something, so this shows your dedication. And if you are dedicated, the result will come today or tomorrow. Okay. If not this time, then next time. So if you are staying dedicated to your purpose, if you are staying dedicated to your task, then you are going to get that result. So don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. Okay. Now, result आएगा, आज ही आएगा मानसी. As soon as it is announced, I will update you. Okay. So we are going to discuss these topics, and last day also we have discussed mainly mains related article. So today we are not having any practice question for MCQ. Any MCQ practice question, today we are not having it. We will start directly with topic itself. Okay. So first topic which we are going to discuss is about this nickel as a resource. We are going to discuss this one article about nickel as a resource, that what exactly is nickel, how it is useful for us, okay, where it is used and all. So this is one of the topic which we are going to discuss in today's session. So let us talk first about this nickel itself and where do we use this. Okay. So first, let's see what is the uniqueness of nickel. What is the uniqueness of nickel? The first very uniqueness of nickel is it is a magnetic substance, and at the same time it is corrosion resistant. Okay. We see that it is one of the magnetic substance. Iron, cobalt, nickel. Iron, cobalt and nickel, these are the three substances which are naturally magnetic. They are also called as ferromagnetic. So first thing which we see that it is a magnetic substance. So in the entire electronics and communication sector and electrical sector, there is going to be use of nickel. The second major advantage is it is corrosion resistant. This one is also corrosion resistant. Normally, if we look at this, iron is also magnetic substance, but it gets easily corroded. But in case of nickel, what we see that there is no such early corrosion, or there is no such like corrosion of this nickel. Then third point, we see that it has got high melting point. High melting point. So we can use it. We can use it in those devices also where there is a lot of heat and all. Okay. Plus, it can be used to form alloys. It can be used to form alloy. Many alloys can be formed because of this. In chemistry, in class 9th or 10th, you may have seen that it is one of the very important catalyst. It is a catalyst for chemical reaction. In chemistry, you may have heard this name multiple times, nickel. Why? Because it is a catalyst. So there also it has its application. Plus a good conductor. This is also a good conductor. So that is also the property of nickel. It is magnetic. It is corrosion resistant. We see that it has got high melting point. It is also used for making alloys. It has got catalytic properties also. It has also got this electrical conductivity as well. So these are the uniqueness of nickel. They are the uniqueness of nickel. And right now, if we talk about the uses of it, so here we see that it is used for stainless steel production. It is used for the production of stainless steel. So that is one of the application. Second thing, we again see that nickel is a very important component of battery technology or battery manufacturing. There also we use nickel. In batteries also, like when we are talking about lithium ion batteries, so there also we use it. Okay. It is used to make alloys for aerospace sector. There also we are using this nickel. We are also using it even for coins or electroplating. We are using it for coins. We are using it for electroplating. So there also we have the use of it. Okay. In fact, the entire electronics equipments, they are making use of nickel. So from a stainless steel to battery to aerospace to electronic sector, nickel is one of the main thing which is being demanded. So while on one hand this is quite much in demand, there are certain challenges with respect to its extraction. First is, it is having limited resource. It is not very much abundant like coal or others. Okay. So it is not very much abundant. Then at the same time, we see that when we are going for extraction of the nickel, there is going to be some environmental impact. There is also going to be energy intensive process. At the same time, it is also difficult to extract, okay, because of presence of like sulfide and other ores. Okay. So we see that there are challenges. There are challenges like environmental impact, complexity of extraction, and even energy intensive process. So that is the challenge. On the other hand, if we look particularly for India, India is largely dependent on import of the nickel, and it is primarily getting it from Indonesia, Australia, Canada and other countries. Okay. So for India, the major challenge is import dependence. Import dependence. Where do we depend? Indonesia, Australia, Canada, etc. So we are not having too much reserves of this. Okay. In Odisha, in Sukinda Valley, there is somewhat deposit of the nickel. But in most of the places, we are not having any such deposition of nickel. We are largely dependent on import from other countries. So we depend on other countries for importing of this nickel. Now, one question for you, and in this year prelims also this question was there. Which country is particularly famous or have the largest reserve of nickel? Which country is having the largest reserve of nickel? Catalyst means the one which can like enhance the rate of reaction. The one which increases the rate of reaction is called as catalyst. One which leads to initiation of a reaction means it can help the reaction to get started, or it can intensify the reaction, that is called as catalyst. So tell me about this part, that which country in the world is having the largest reserves of nickel? Can you answer that? This year, there was a question regarding this only. In one of the match the pair question, this question was there about nickel. Australia, okay, China. Yes, that is one correct answer. Indonesia. Okay. Yes, correct. So Indonesia, in fact, Indonesia and Australia, they are the major country. Indonesia is having the major reserves of nickel. So every time there is no such China thing, sometimes other countries also prevail. So there is this one resource in which Indonesia is having the largest reserve. In case of nickel, it is Indonesia having the largest reserve. So this year in prelims, there was a question around it. Okay. That is the first topic about nickel and its usage. Then there is the second topic. This is there in Indian Express. This is there in the Indian Express. The topic is about this, that how do the astronauts reach to this International Space Station? So tell me, how do the astronauts reach to the International Space Station? How do we send them? How do we send them in the space? Do we simply send them via Uber, Ola, Rapido? How do we send them in the space? Or do we say them that, okay, go on the rooftop, jump a little bit higher, then you will reach directly in the space? So how to go to the space? Through rockets, okay? So how does it work? Diwali rocket. And Diwali rocket can be one of the source. Human rated launch vehicle. And Diwali rocket is sounding better. We can send people through Diwali rocket also. You can ask them to just catch one rocket. You can fire that rocket. You can send it in the space. They will go there. Any other option than Diwali rockets? Like one option is of course Diwali rocket. Another option is of course space rockets. Any other thing which comes to your mind? How we can send humans in the space? Apart from this Diwali rocket and space rockets, any other ideas? Launch vehicle. Okay. You should give me some innovative ideas. We all know that through rockets they can go. One innovative idea was this Diwali rocket. If you have anything else in mind, come with that. Like maybe hydrogen balloon or GSLV Mark III. Sitting on the top of GSLV Mark III, you can go in the space. Now see, generally if you look at this, how do people go to a space? Yes, there are of course launch vehicles, the rockets which are there. The launch vehicles are there, and in that humans are there in a capsule. Okay. Like there is a capsule which is attached to the launch vehicle or the rocket, and inside that capsule the astronauts are sitting over there. Now we generally see that first of all at the ascent part, what we see, like suppose when we are talking about Falcon 9, so what we see that in case of Falcon 9, it is having the first one stage, that is the Merlin, that is basically the Merlin engine. So this Merlin engine, it basically launches this, and you will find that after launching it comes back. So when we are talking about the Falcon 9, what we see that the first engine is Merlin 9. This one is launching. This one is launching the space capsule as well as the other part of the rocket. After going to a certain height, what we see that it will come back into the same area, okay, so that it can be reused. So first part of the Falcon 9, the Merlin engine, is reusable engine. Then we have this, the second part of it. The second part is taking the capsule in the upper space. Once it has been launched, then the second engine is taking the capsule to the International Space Station. After that, it also gets separated. This engine also gets separated and falls down. It is not reusable. The second engine is wasted there, second engine falls down. Then after, the capsule, which is called as the Dragon capsule or the Dragon module, it goes and it docks with the International Space Station. It is docking there with the International Space Station. And then after the docking, generally what we see that for some period of time, like for almost 2 hours, there is stabilization. It is for 2 hours, the astronauts are not going in the International Space Station. For 2 hours, they are getting stabilized there. They are becoming stable over there. And after 2 hours, the astronauts will then enter into the International Space Station. Okay. So what we see that in the Axiom 4 mission also, the same thing will happen. There will be use of this Falcon 9. This Falcon 9 will consist of the Merlin engine. Okay. It is reusable. This one is reusable. Okay. So it will come down. Second engine, this one is going to push Dragon module and Dragon module docks with ISS, International Space Station. So then the Dragon module docks with the International Space Station. So in this stage, they are going up to the space. Now, how much time it is going to take place? Like normally, if we talk about this, if we talk about the entire process, okay, it may take up to 28 hours also. While this ISS is only at a height of 400 kilometer. Okay. This is only at a height of 400 kilometer, but sometimes this process, it may take up to even 28 hours. Okay. So the journey direction, this is only 400 kilometer, but the journey direction may take up to 28 hours. Why? Because this ISS is continuously orbiting the Earth. It is continuously orbiting the Earth. So before the docking, it may take up to 28 hours. This is one very important, crucial part here, that it may look that we have to go only 400 kilometers, but we don't have to go to a stable location. We don't have to go at this stable location. The International Space Station, which is there, it is continuously moving. And it is moving at a very high speed. It is moving at a speed of 28,000 kilometers per hour. The speed of revolution of International Space Station is 28,000 kilometers per hour. It completes one entire revolution around this Earth in just 90 minutes. Okay. So that is also one thing which you have to be aware about the International Space Station. Okay. What we see that in this case, it is having a speed of 28,000 kilometers per hour. Orbits Earth in 90 minutes. So in fact, you will find that in one single day, it is going to complete how many revolutions? In just 3 hours, it is completing 2 revolutions. So in one day, it is able to complete 16 revolutions of Earth per day. It is going to complete this 16 revolutions of Earth per day. That is what we see in case of this International Space Station. So that is one thing which we see over here. Now at the same time, this journey to ISS, this is going to may take up to 28 hours. This is at a distance of 400 kilometers from Earth. So that is about International Space Station. The Axiom 4 mission is a private mission. It is a private mission, but it is going to be launched via the Falcon 9. Now, this is having so many leaks, so many last moment changes. So that's why it has not been done yet. But yes, in the upcoming days, it is going to be completed. So this Axiom 4 mission, you may be aware that one of the Indian astronauts, one of the person from Indian Air Force who has been designated to be a crew member of Gaganyaan is also part of this Axiom mission. Can you tell me who is that person? You all have been reading the newspaper. So tell me, what is the name of the person who is going on Axiom 4 mission? Who is going on this Axiom 4 mission? The Indian astronauts. Yes, correct. Yeah. Yes, Shubhanshu Shukla is going. Not simply Shukla, Shubhanshu Shukla. Okay. Shubhanshu Shukla is going on this Axiom 4 mission. So Shubhanshu Shukla is part of Indian Air Force. He has also been chosen to be crew member of Gaganyaan mission. So he is supposed to go on this mission, Axiom 4 mission, as a pilot. So this is going to benefit India also. This is going to benefit India also because he would have that experience of going into the space. And later on, when we are having our own Gaganyaan mission, then we will get the benefit. One more question from all of you. There is a space station of China also. China is also having its own space station. What is the name of it? In one of the classes, we have discussed about this. And in this year itself, they have also sent 3 astronauts in the space. So what is the name of the space station of China? Ting Tong. I don't think it is Tian Tong. I don't think it is Tian Tong. Yes, it is Tian Gong. You all are writing Ting Tong. It is not Ting Tong, it is Tiangong. We have this Chinese space station. So it's, if it is Chinese space station, you will make fun of it. It is Tiangong. You all are writing like Tiang Tong or Ting Tong. So it is not Ting Tong, it is Tiangong. Okay. So Tiangong is the name. It's not Ting Tong that you are you are calling it like Ting Tong. It is not Ting Tong, it is Tiangong. Okay. Everyone is saying the name Ting Tong. It is Tiangong, so keep that name. Now, coming to the next part. So, there is one thing in the world in which we are leading, and that is population. India has a population now of 146.39 crore. The population of India is 146.39 crore now. Okay. We are just about to cross 150 crore in the upcoming days. Okay. So what we see that when we talk about Indian population, it has reached 146.39 crore. This is the population figure in April 2025. This is the population figure in April 2025, 146.39 crore. Okay. Now, if we talk about this, our population is going to reach projected population. Projected population peak, it is going to be 170 crore by 2065. By 2065, it is going to reach 170 crore. And then after, what we will see that after this part, it will start declining then. It will start to decline. So this is one part. When we talk about India's population, it is going to reach 170 crore by 2065. So right now, you may be in the age group of 20 to 25 years. Okay. So by the time you are becoming old, by the time you are becoming of like 60, 65 years, at that time, India's population is going to reach 170 crore. Okay. And then after, it will start to decline. Okay. So once you become old, then the problem of population will be gone. Okay. Once you become old, after that, the population will start to decline. After that, the population of India is going to come back to this level. Okay. By the end of the century, by 2100, it is expected to come back to 140 crore approximately. Yeah. So that is population figure. Now, if we talk about the total fertility rate, in India, it is 1.9. Now, you know that there is one thing called as replacement level. There is one thing called as replacement level of population. Replacement level of population. So that is considered as 2.1. So if the total fertility rate goes below 1.9, it means now the population is going to decrease. In some of the states, it is 1.3 also. It is further low also. So our population is going to see some decline in the upcoming next 50-60 years. Okay. So for the next 40 years, it is going to reach to the peak, and then after that, it is going to start to decline. Okay. So replacement level is 2.1. We have already come to this 1.9 level. So until unless people start to increase the fertility level, we will find that India's population is going to decline. Now, there is one part. When we are talking about the population, what we see that 68% of India's population is in the age group of 15 to 64 years. Okay. So we see that 68% population, that is 15 to 64 years. Then at the same time, the young ones, the youth, the young ones which are there 0 to 14, 0 to 14, they form near about 24%. They form near about 24%. And at the same time, those who are in the age group of 10 to 24, those who are in the age group of 10 to 24, they form near about 26%. Age 10 to 24, they are roughly around 26%. So we have a very young population. We have more than 45% of the people, because this is a mix-up group, 0 to 14 and then 10 to 24. So there is some mix-up. So if we look at this, if we take an on average, we have around 40 to 45% of our population. We have around 40 to 45% of our population who are below the age of 24 years. So that's why India is called as a young country. That we have around 50% of population less than 30 years of age. 50% of the population is less than 30 years of age. And 80% of the politicians, you know that. We have around 50% of the population which is less than 30 years of age. And we have majority of our politicians whose age is more than 60-70 years. So India is a young country ruled by the experienced people. Okay. Now, at the same time, if we look at this, elderly population, this is around 7% right now. The elderly population is around 7%. Okay. So this is also one part. ये स्कूल में 2040 नहीं, that cannot be done. Now you may have seen that the rate of increase of population has come down. The rate of increase of population has already come down. Okay. So it cannot be done from our side now. Okay. That population rate has already declined. In the next 40 years, we will be able to add only 20 crore people. We are somewhere near 150 crore. So in the next 40 years, we are going to add only about 20 crore people. It simply means now that fertility level, it is already gone. It is well below the 2.1 level. If India's total fertility rate was 2.1, then it would have been a constant population. If it is more than that, then population would have been increasing. Now we are seeing some increase, but it is going to be marginal increase. That population has already started to settle down now. In most of the families, in most of the new families, those who are of 30 years of age or 35 years of age, you will find that majority of the people are having 1 or 2 kids. Most of the time they are having 1 children. Some of them are having 2. You will rarely find now that people are having 3 or 4 children. In most of the cases, they are having 1 child. So, if they are having 2 child, means population will remain stable. But if they are having less than 2 child, it means population is going to decline. So, our population is going to decline in the upcoming times. So our population is already, if it was 2.1, then we would have sustained, but now it is less than 2.1. So that's a good news for India, that our population has become stable. It has now started to decline. Okay. Now, tell me one thing. Tell me one question. If we talk about life expectancy at birth, who will be having higher life expectancy, male or female? If we talk about Indian society, can you tell me this part? Who is going to have higher life expectancy? Will it be male or female? How to convert fertility rate in number? Nee, fertility rate is determined like how much children a woman is producing, how much children women are producing in their lifetime. Like women have a normal time of reproduction. They cannot be reproducing at any age. Most of the women are able to reproduce up to an age of maximum 45 years, 45 years. So during this fertility age, how many child they are having? If they are having like suppose if there are 100 women and collectively, if we look at there are 100 women and there are 200 children which they have got in their lifetime. So in that particular region, the fertility level will be 2. But if suppose there is 150 children only, so the fertility level there is 1.5. So in this way we calculate it. Fertility level indicates that how many children are being produced by women in the country, women in the region. Yes. So life expectancy of women is 74 years. For male, it is 71 years. So this is one part, that in India, women are living longer than men. Okay. So this is about the population figure which was provided by United Nations Population Fund. It is a special organ of United Nations which is giving this report about all these things. Okay. I hope this one is clear. Why male had died before female? Tell me about this, that why male are dying before the female? Why there is lower life expectancy in male as compared to female? Less risk taking behavior. In case of female, the risk taking behavior is less. In case of male, you may have seen that many a times you may have seen this part, that the male members who are there, or especially the young boys who are there, or young people who are there. Okay. So what we see that sometimes it is triple loading on bikes, sometimes it is 5 people on the same bike, sometimes even more than that. Then there are other things, for example, fight and all. There is many part of this fighting and all that also goes. They also have this various hobbies, or you can say like bad habits like smoking or alcohol and other things. Plus cardiovascular disease is also increasing. Cardiovascular disease among male is also increasing. So higher disease burden is also there. Then so many regions are there. Accidents are more. They are more at workplaces. Workplaces are prone to accidents. So more chances of getting dead. So male have a number of regions. Yes, more heart attack is also there. So number of things are there. Lifestyle, diet, hobbies, risk-taking behavior, workplace, accidents. Many things are there which contribute to this. Okay. So that's why male are nowadays there are more risks. Okay. So that's why. Now coming to the next part, neutrinos. So see, take this in a light manner, not to be serious. So earlier already we have seen that male have less life expectancy at the birth. Now we see the stories which are coming up the stories which are coming up across the social media and various other places. So now the life expectancy may decrease further. The news which we are getting these days, that how people are getting, like there are so many crimes which are happening in the country right now. So that also can further reduce this life expectancy for men. Okay. Very burden to be male. And what about the privileges? What about the privileges? So that privilege is also there. So many like unrealized privileges are there. That is also for male only. No, it's not about the tension. It is that women are good at expressing their self. Women are quite good at expressing their self. But in case of most of the male, they are not very good at expressing themselves. So they take the stress in their mind. Okay. They take excessive stress in their mind. They are not speaking about it. They are not talking to anyone. They are controlling their emotions. So that also builds up and increases the task of many other things. Okay. So that was on the lighter side. Now let's come on the neutrino. Now let's talk about neutrinos. Okay. So again, this one news is there. Now see, this one news is talking about a German experiment about neutrino mass and all. So this is not required for your exam. What you have to know is what is neutrinos. Okay. So neutrinos are basically subatomic particles. They are basically subatomic particles. They have no charge but somewhat mass. Okay. So neutrinos are chargeless body, but they are not massless bodies. They are not massless particles. They have got somewhat mass with them. So sometimes they are also called as, also known as ghost particles. They are also known as ghost particles. Okay. So why they are called as ghost particles? Because they hardly interact with matter. Means they are not interacting with matter. They hardly interact with matter. Here the term hardly interact means they are not interacting. Hardly interact means doesn't mean that they will have hard collision. No. Hardly interact means they are not interacting with matter. So what we see that since they are not interacting with matter or hardly interacting with matter, so we are not able to identify them. We are not able to detect them. So that's why they are also called as ghost particles. Okay. So they are not interacting with them. That is one of the reasons. But they are considered as the second most abundant particle in the universe. They are considered as the second most abundant particle in the universe. The most abundant particle is photon. What we see that most abundant is photon. Okay. So neutrinos are considered as the second most abundant particle present in the space, present in the universe. Okay. So generally we see that a number of factors are there, but how they are formed, how they come into existence, if we talk about this, that how they come into existence, there is one thing called as supernova. Supernova is the bursting of a star, the burst or the explosion in a star which forms neutrino star. So that supernova is considered as one of the main source of this neutrino. Okay. So there is one thing called as supernova. There is one thing called as supernova. It is explosion. So this leads to formation of neutrinos. This one leads to formation of neutrinos. So that is what we call as a ghost particle. Okay. So like we have electron, proton, neutron and all other things. In same manner, we have one thing called as neutrinos. They are considered as a subatomic particle which is chargeless but not massless. It has got somewhat mass. Now it is called as ghost particle. It is called as ghost particle because it barely interacts with the matter. It is not interacting with the matter, but sometimes it may interact. In special cases, it may interact. Okay. So that's why they are called as ghost particle. Now, if we talk about their source, how they are generated, how they originate, it is believed that during the supernova explosion, when there is an explosion in a very large star, that is called as supernova. So during that supernova explosion, there is creation of neutrinos and they spread up in the entire universe. So from there, we get the neutrinos. So whenever you are feeling alone, that no one is with you, remember one thing, even if there is nothing with you, there is neutrinos. They are always with you. So you don't have to ever feel alone. In all the part of the world, everywhere in the space, you will find one thing with you, and that is neutrinos. Okay. So don't worry about it. Okay. So we have this one thing, second most abundant particle in universe, that is neutrinos. Okay. So that is one thing which is being researched right now. Now, what is the benefit of this neutrino? Neutrinos, if we are able to use them, if we are able to find out them, we can use them for transmitting messages. We can use them for communication purposes. Why? Because they will not be interfered. They will not face interference by any other particle. They are hardly interacting with anything, so they will not have any interference. So that's why we can use them for communication purpose. Okay. Okay, let me explain it once again. When we talk about the neutrinos, like you all know about electron, proton, neutron, etc. So these are the subatomic particles. In same manner, there is a particle which is smaller than atom, and that particle is called as neutrino. This neutrino, if we talk about this, it is chargeless particle. There is no charge on it, but it has somewhat mass. Its mass is also very negligible, but it is there. Now, this neutrino is not interacting with any other substance. It is not interacting with proton. It is not interacting with electron or other matters. Okay. Sometimes it may interact, but generally it is not interacting. Like right now, if I am standing here or you are sitting over there, you are sitting in front of me. If a neutrino is there, it can easily pass through your body. It can easily pass through your body. That's why it is called as ghost particle. It is believed that ghost can pass through anything. It is generally believed in our mythology and everything that ghost can pass through you without even noticing that. So in same manner, this neutrino particle can pass through it and we will not even notice that. So that's why it is called as ghost particle. Okay. Now, what is the source of these neutrinos? How we are getting that? It is believed that there is one thing called as supernova. What is supernova? Supernova is explosion of the big stars. How much big? Those who are like 2 times, 3 times or multiple times bigger than the sun. When they explode, that event is called as supernova. So during this supernova explosion, the neutrons, electrons, and others, they are getting dismembered, and during that part itself, it is believed that during the various interactions, during the alpha, beta decay and all, during that process, there is generation of neutrinos. And then these neutrinos start moving on in the entire universe. So it is believed right now that it is the second most abundant particle in the universe. The most abundant is photon. Light is believed to be made up of photon. That is the most abundant. The second most abundant is neutrino. Okay. So I hope that is clear now. That what is ghost particle. So next time, whenever you feel that no one is with you, remember this one part. Ghost particle is always with you. They can have that slogan that with you, for you, always. Okay. We may use this in future once we are able to use this, once we are able to detect it. We may be using it for detection of earthquake. We may be using it for detection of the galaxies, the Big Bang theories and all proof. That can also be used, that can also be done with the help of neutrinos. But that is all depending on future, that how we discover about this particle, how do we know about this particle. Okay. There is this only Hindu or Indian Express also. We discussed some articles of Indian Express, some articles of the Hindu. Whichever one is relevant, we discussed that. Like we have discussed one article from Indian Express, how to go to the space, and then these are articles from the Hindu. One last topic, a smaller one. World Bank has said that in 2025-26, the growth forecast for India is going to be 6.3%. Okay. So what we seen that in 2025-26, India's GDP growth rate it is going to be approximately 6.3%. Okay. So earlier the World Bank had said that India is going to grow at a rate of 6.7%. But later on in April itself, World Bank said that India is going to grow at a 6.3%. So this is one thing, like you don't have to remember this, just an update. No need to write it or just see this part that okay, Indian economy is going at this rate. Only that thing is required for you. Otherwise, by the next time exam comes, this will change multiple times. It is not that much relevant. That's why I'm just telling you that World Bank had said India is going to grow at 6.3%. No need to note it down. No need to remember this. Just know about it, that how the economy is going. That is sufficient. Okay. So I hope that is clear. Even if you are focusing on one newspaper, that is sufficient. फिर तो इसे गॉड पार्टिकल बोला जाना चाहिए, ना कि घोस्ट पार्टिकल. नहीं, गॉड पार्टिकल is something else. God particle, we already have a God particle. Okay. So you may have seen Higgs boson particle, they are called as God particle. Why they are God particle? Because they impart the mass to all other particles. Even if neutrinos are having mass, they may have got it from Higgs boson particle. So Higgs boson are called as God particle. This one is the ghost one. Okay. Now there is one information, and this is going to be in bilingual mode. एक information है आप सभी के लिए. What is the information? देखो, the test series, the UPSC mains test series has started, और इस बार जितने भी लोगों ने टेस्ट पेपर दिया है उसमें से कई सारे लोगों ने सही ढंग से कॉपी अपलोड नहीं की है. ठीक है, तो मेनी पीपल वेर ऑल्सो आस्किंग दिस कि इस पेपर को कहाँ से हमें मीन्स इस सीरीज को कहाँ से ज्वाइन करना है, या फिर इस सीरीज में पेपर कैसे अपलोड करना है. कई बार लोग इसको सही ढंग से अपलोड नहीं कर पाए थे. तो फॉर दिस वेरी रीजन आई एम जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग अ लिटिल बिट कि जो मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज है उसको ज्वाइन कहां से करना है, इसमें अपलोड कहां से करना है और क्या क्या चीजें वहां पे फिल करनी है। ठीक है, तो सी दिस वन पार्ट। जैसे ही आप खान ग्लोबल स्टडीज की वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, ठीक है, व्हेन यू गो ओवर देयर, ठीक है, मान लो वेबसाइट पे गए, आप कोर्सेज में जाते हो, कोर्सेज में जाने के बाद आपको यहाँ पे अलग अलग कोर्सेज जो है वो दिखता है। इसी कोर्सेज में जब आप आओगे, ठीक है, तो यू विल ऑल्सो फाइंड दिस ऑप्शन ऑफ द मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज। ठीक है, यहाँ पे आपको मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज जो है, एक मेंस आंसर राइटिंग प्रोग्राम है, इसके अलावा जो मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज है वो भी आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा। ठीक है, तो लेट मी शो यू हियर foundation batch, then we have this in the UPSC and state PCS section, आपको यहाँ पे एक UPSC मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज 2025 मिलेगा। आप चाहो तो यहाँ पे सर्च भी कर सकते हो, ये आपको ऑप्शन मिलेगा UPSC मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज 25 ऑनलाइन। ठीक है, तो अब आपको क्या करना है, आप यहां से इसको परचेज कर सकते हो। बाय नाउ पे आप क्लिक करोगे, यहाँ पे आपको परचेज करने का ऑप्शन मिल जाएगा। जो टेस्ट्स हैं वो टेस्ट भी आपको यहाँ पर शो होते हैं। ठीक है, जैसे आप यहाँ पर देखते हो, आपको टेस्ट 1 से लेकर टेस्ट 15 तक यहाँ पे आपको शो करता है। ठीक है, तो मान लो टेस्ट 1 जैसे 8 तारीख को कंडक्ट हुआ है, तो वंस यू हैव सीन द क्वेश्चन, जैसे ही आप क्वेश्चन को देख लेते हो, क्वेश्चन को आपने लिखना स्टार्ट किया, आपने अपनी कॉपी पर लिखा। अब अपनी कॉपी पे भी अपना नाम और जो रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है या जो मोबाइल नंबर है उसको जरूर मेंशन करें। इसके बाद आपको क्या करना है, व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यहीं पे आप नीचे में आना। नीचे में जैसे आप स्क्रॉल करोगे, यहां पे आपको एक ऑप्शन मिलेगा ओवरव्यू का। देयर इज दिस वन ऑप्शन ओवरव्यू, आप यहां पर देख सकते हो। जैसे आप शेड्यूल पे नीचे जाओगे, यहां पे एक सेक्शन दिखेगा ओवरव्यू का, तो जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दिस ओवरव्यू पार्ट। ओवरव्यू पार्ट पे क्लिक करने के बाद आपको यहां पे एक ऑप्शन मिलेगा। ओवरव्यू में आपको सारी इंफॉर्मेशन होगी कि टोटल नंबर ऑफ टेस्ट कितना है, कॉपी वैल्यूएशन और बाकी चीजों की। यहां पे फिर आपको एक लिंक मिलेगा, गूगल फॉर्म लिंक, जहां पे आपको कॉपीज को अपलोड करना है। तो जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दिस गूगल फॉर्म लिंक। ठीक है, जैसे आप इस लिंक पे क्लिक करोगे, ठीक है, फिर यहां पे आपको ये फॉर्म दिखेगा। You will get this form, UPSC मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज ऑनलाइन टेस्ट सबमिशन फॉर्म। यहां पे जैसे ही आपको ये फॉर्म दिख रहा है, इसमें आपको डिटेल्स फिल करना है। डिटेल्स क्या क्या, यू हैव टू फिल योर फुल नेम, अपना पूरा नाम एंटर करिए। ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से आई हैव एंटर्ड माय नेम। ठीक है, आप लोग मेरा नाम एंटर मत करना, अपना नाम एंटर करना। ठीक है, देन ईमेल एड्रेस, जो भी आपका ईमेल एड्रेस है, फॉर एग्जांपल XYZ, ठीक है, @ जो भी आपका ईमेल एड्रेस है उसको आप यहां पे फिल करना। ठीक है, इसको फिल करने के बाद, और यहां पे काफी ध्यान से इसको फिल करना, कारण ये है कि जो ईमेल एड्रेस आप यहां पे फिल करोगे, the same email address will be used to send the evaluated copy। मतलब आपकी जो कॉपी इवेलुएट होगी वो आपको इसी ईमेल एड्रेस पे भेजी जाएगी। तो ऐसा ईमेल एड्रेस मत डालना जिसका आपको पासवर्ड ही नहीं याद हो। ठीक है, तो यूज दैट ईमेल आईडी जिसका आपको पासवर्ड याद हो, और ईमेल आईडी को सही से यहाँ पे मेंशन करना। देन यू हैव टू रजिस्टर, यू हैव टू एंटर योर फोन नंबर। जैसे मान लो मैंने अपना यहाँ पे फोन नंबर एंटर किया, 999999, जो भी नंबर है उसको एंटर किया, फिर टेस्ट नंबर एंटर किया 01, और यहां पे फिर किसी फाइल को आपको अटैच करने का ऑप्शन मिलेगा। इस पे आप ब्राउज में जाना, और जो भी फाइल है आपका, मान लो सपोज इफ आई एम अपलोडिंग दिस फाइल, ठीक है, तो यहां पे मैंने ये PDF के फॉर्म में अपलोड कर दिया। ठीक है, इट हैज टू बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ PDF। ठीक है, PDF के फॉर्म में होना चाहिए, और जो फाइल का जो साइज है, इट शुड बी लेस देन 10 MB, 10 MB से कम फाइल का साइज करना है। कैसे कर सकते हो, देयर आर मेनी ऑनलाइन कंप्रेसर, ऑनलाइन कंप्रेसर को यूज करके आप वहां पे फिर इसको, आप यहां पे इसको ऐड कर सकते हो, और फिर आप यहां पे सबमिट पे क्लिक करोगे तो योर फॉर्म विल बी सबमिटेड। ठीक है, तो आपको यहां पे जो कॉपी है वो सबमिट हो जाएगा, एंड देन आपका जो टेस्ट है वो इवेलुएट होके आपको मिल जाएगा। तो दिस इज वन थिंग विच यू हैव टू डू। तो टेस्ट पेपर जो अपलोड करने में जिनको भी दिक्कतें आ रही थी, इस चीज को आपको फॉलो करना है एंड फ्रॉम देयर यू कैन फिल दिस पार्ट। ठीक है, तो ज्वाइन करना कहां से, वो भी मैंने आपको बता दिया कि ज्वाइन करने के लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो, यहाँ पे आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हो। ठीक है, रजिस्टर करने के बाद जैसे मान लो यहाँ पे आपने परचेज कर लिया, परचेज करने के बाद इसमें आपको टेस्ट दिखा रहा है, टेस्ट आप अपने अकॉर्डिंग देख सकते हो जो भी टेस्ट आपको देना है। टेस्ट देने के बाद आप ओवरव्यू सेक्शन में आओगे। ओवरव्यू सेक्शन में यहाँ पे आपको ऑप्शन मिलेगा गूगल फॉर्म पे क्लिक करने का। जैसे आप क्लिक करोगे आपको ये गूगल फॉर्म यहाँ पे दिख जाएगा। ठीक है, फिर इसमें आप अपना जो फुल नेम है, ईमेल एड्रेस है, फोन नंबर है, वो सभी चीजों को एंटर करना और यहाँ पे आप सबमिट करना, आपका पेपर सबमिट हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो दिस इज वन इंफॉर्मेशन। ठीक है, जो आप सभी को देना था, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग अब जो अपलोड है आंसर वो सही ढंग से नहीं कर पाए हैं। आई होप आफ्टर दिस यू आर एबल टू अपलोड योर आंसर्स करेक्टली। सो दैट विल बी ऑल। थैंक यू सो मच, टेक केयर एंड एग्जाम के रिजल्ट के लिए आप